Hey everybody, it is Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a good start to your week wherever you may be in this world that we share. So we're looking at a couple of news stories today, including an update by way of the SEC commissioner. So not something ultra positive, but it's definitely leaning more in that direction. We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at the latest in our Community Speaks feature with a new look at high performance blockchain and an update on that project. But let's begin as always on altcoinbuzz.io with the NEWSFLASH. So you guys know how this works. These are the biggest stories of the last week, and it's been a bloody week, let's face it. I should mention that at the time of this video, Bitcoin is trading at just over $4,000 US. It's actually closer to 4,100. So it is up a little bit versus where we were yesterday. I mean, we're not celebrating yet, that's for sure, but it does seem to be marginally up. So with that context, let's take a look at some of these stories. All the links are here, by the way, every time we do this. So of course you guys can go check them out if it's something that interests you. But number one big story of the week is Ripple about to sign a partnership with Bank of America. There was this rumor that was floating around the internet the other day. It really came about in part by some of the quotes that were released by Brad Garlinghouse. So go back and check that out. Ripple, of course, has been a pretty stable performer during all this market madness in a relative sense. Number two, speaking of madness, total Bitcoin Cash hash war. Losses pass $12 million. If you want to read more about the Bitcoin Cash split, which was a pretty big deal and a pretty, well, at least a significant factor in terms of this latest market collapse, let's call it, you can read about that. Number three, Saudi Arabia aims to launch own cryptocurrency next year. I don't even think we got to that in terms of the news video, but that's something that is happening in the news. You can read more about it. We have a dedicated article on the issue. So those are the biggest stories of the week. Go back and check them out. Our thanks to Chris for summarizing and letting us know where to look and where to divert our attention. In other news today by Luke, SEC Commissioner, Future Cryptocurrency ETF Exchange Traded Fund, quote, definitely possible. So this is a bit of an unexpected turn almost amid all of this craziness that we're seeing in the market. So with the bear market in full swing, writes Luke, the best thing to do is focus on positive news and the potential future of crypto. One of the events crypto investors have been and are still waiting for is a Bitcoin ETF. That said, multiple Bitcoin ETF filings over the last year have been denied or endlessly delayed by the SEC. The good news, a crypto ETF is still very much possible. So Hester Peirce is a commissioner with the SEC, and she mentioned in a podcast called What Bitcoin Did that a Bitcoin ETF is definitely possible. That said, Peirce also iterated that her views are her own and not necessarily those of the SEC. So during that interview, the host, Peter McCormick, asked Peirce whether a future Bitcoin ETF was an inevitability, but Peirce could not acknowledge this. Peirce did say, however, and this is a quote, just because you're calling something crypto does not mean you can ignore the rules we have had in place for years. But I do think we also need to be willing to open doors a little bit wider for innovation. I like that approach, definitely. So Peirce, one of the SEC's 5 commissioners appointed by the U.S. president to overlook the regulatory landscape for security investments in the U.S., first came to the attention of the crypto community back in September after writing that so-called letter of dissent in relation to the SEC's refusal to approve the Winklevoss Bitcoin Trust ETF. So she was very outspoken. She was a very vocal critic of the way everything was handled. So you guys can read up more on this if it interests you. At the time of this publication, the SEC is still kind of on the fence about that VanEck Solid X Bitcoin ETF, but the authority explained that it needed more time to analyze the application in detail, and the decision is now expected after Christmas, circa the 29th or so of December of this year. So hold on to your butts. Let's see what's going to happen. That's not too far away, just over a month. In other news, and finally today, guys, high performance blockchain. We're looking at this latest update in our series of Community Speaks pieces. So high performance blockchain, gaming adoption, and token economies. Shortly after I published the Altcoin Buzz Community Speaks introduction for high performance blockchain, the team announced a very exciting partnership with Leia.one, a new blockchain venture by Leia Box. With over 400,000 developers, Leia Box is the world's largest HTML5 gaming engine. The HTML5 giant has strategic partnerships with companies like Facebook, like Google, Alibaba, Tencent, Huawei, and Baidu, just to name a few. Those are big names. According to the Leia.1 white paper, Leiabox is responsible for 70% of all HTML gaming engines in China, and that is a big deal in China. Don't you deny that that's a big deal in China. I'm talking about gaming engines. So you can take a look at the partners that are associated with Leiabox. There are some of the big ones there, as well as some of the others. You can check out their website, leiabox.com. And they plan to utilize high-performance blockchain and their BOE hardware accelerator to strengthen and improve digital signatures. Quote, in blockchain gaming engines, the digital signature is to ensure and identify each player's identity and relevant assets. The current system uses the CPU of the system server to execute signature verifications. With HBP, the game can offload the work onto the BOE, significantly improving verification speeds and thus network performance, and that's by way of a high-performance blockchain press release. So that's very big news, no doubt about that. That's the bulk of this update. If you want to read more about token economics, the author here has provided more information that you can delve into. Please take some time to read all of the questions and answered covered in this official HPB token model released by the team. But here are some notes. Developers will need HPP coins to issue smart contracts. Users will need HPP coins as the gas for transactions. New partners, developers, and users will need to hold HPP coins to utilize and create sidechains, as well as their, quote, blockchain as a service offering. And finally, unlike Ethereum, the consensus algorithm of high-performance blockchain is not based on proof of work, but rather proof of performance. And if you guys want to read more about that, it's detailed and outlined further below. So finally, I hope to update the community on the collaboration that UnionPay has been doing with HBP within the next few months. According to the white paper, we should hear more about this development sometime between now and the end of the year. So our thanks to Rumham, either Rumham or Rumhan. So my apologies if I'm not getting that just right. So thanks to you for your contribution. As always, guys, if you would like to have your voice heard, you got to contact @Garrett59 on Telegram. We'd be happy to facilitate you. Just let us know what it is you'd like to cover and what you're about, what you'd like to pitch, and we'll make sure it happens. Check out these links. We're going to have them in the description below. HPB.io, revolutionizing blockchain infrastructure. If you want to take a look at the HPB token model, here it is, as well as the partnership news. HPB and Leia.1 reach a milestone agreement. Once again, our thanks to Rumham for the update. And as always, guys, for more updates, do be sure you're following Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News. Follow us as well on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. Here's our last video. Here's the website. You can click it and get yourself up to speed. If you choose to invest on this Monday, ladies and gentlemen of the Altcoin Buzz Army, I wish you only the very best of luck. But either way, have a great day, a great start to your week, and we'll see you guys hopefully again soon in our next video. Take care.